Hey, I'm Marcus Flanagan, and I'm going to be on the Coriolis Effect with Corey Oliver, and we are going to talk about her.
Welcome to the Coriolis Effect with Corey Oliver.
Hi guys, I'm Corey Oliver. Thanks for watching the Coriolis Effect. Please hit the subscribe button below, and we hope you like this episode. Hi guys, we wanted to announce that like many podcasters, we just started a Patreon account. Visit our page at patreon.com/the Coriolis Effect. We have 5 different levels of membership and offer early access to episodes, behind the scenes footage, bonus episodes, shoutouts, and much more, including personal phone calls, questions and answer sessions, and live chats with Bob and me. That's patreon.com/the Coriolis Effect. Good morning,
Good
Bob.
morning, Corey. How are you?
I'm doing really, really well.
That's very, very, very good.
Thank you, thank you,
Too
thank
many
you.
varies?
Yeah,
Or
a lot of
did I
wells, a lot of
realize?
thank yous. I know our guest is almost here, so we're going to make this a really short intro.
Really quick, short.
Yes. But,
Who's our
there's all
guest
this. Marcus Flanagan.
Yes. And who's Marcus Flanagan?
He is an actor, and he is incredible, and I
And
can't
an
believe he's
acting
here
coach.
today.
Maybe
Yes.
teach you something.
I mean, right? No, I'm very excited to meet him. I'm a huge fan of his. He's been in The Morning Show, Born on the 4th of July, Supernatural, Better Things. It's amazing. He's an incredible actor.
He's one of the most well-working character actors.
Honestly,
around
he
today.
is,
Yeah, yeah.
and has a
And
great.
always plays the bad guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, he's
but
got a great-
he's hilarious too.
Yeah, he's funny at it. But
Yes.
He's got a great evil doctor, bad guy face. Yeah.
But he's not evil looking. He's a good looking guy.
He's a
like
very good-looking
yes.
guy, but
So
Hollywood has made him the evil guy. So
I know it's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always excited to see him in anything because I follow his stuff and have for a long time. So I'm very excited he's in the studio today. Like, this
Yes.
is- thank you.
that's because he lives down the street and was my daughter's soccer coach.
I
for
know,
a
right? Like
season or
you
two.
actually know people.
I do. I know people.
Wow,
yes.
Bob.
I know.
Speaking of the industry, there's all this controversy around Disney, and I'm not going to get into all that, but I think we're going to show a little clip in the intro
Yeah.
of something that I'm not sure. I mean, I think I saw it when I was younger, but it definitely explains why I do not like Swiss cheese.
It's from the 40s, though.
Yeah,
I
but
gotta say.
honestly,
Or maybe
still
the 30s or
then,
50s,
like I'm
yeah.
a little bit shocked.
Okay, let's watch this. Okay, that was very interesting.
Very interesting. So, anyone have any comments
Now,
on that?
you know-
Please comment below.
Again, I gotta
Or-
think this was just some guy who thought it would be funny and the higher ups probably didn't even notice it because it's black. Although back then,
How do you
anything was
not
a huge
notice that?
production.
Well, it's so subtle that I actually didn't. I remember it in, rotation on the big giant television screen, right? The
Right.
big box that was like huge, but not.
Well,
to
okay,
that
when that came
level.
out, it had to be in the movies. I don't think that hit TV. Because remember, TV was 50s. I'll have
Right.
to check the date on that because
Te-
that may have predated TV.
Any reason why the ice cubes taste like pepper?
Pepper?
Yeah,
Did you put pepper in the glass?
I did not.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I put pepper in all my ice cubes, don't you?
All right. Well, I'm very excited. Marcus Flanagan up next.
Okay. See you soon. We would like to introduce you to the MBIT podcast, short for Markets, Business, Investing, and Tech. The MBIT podcast is hosted by 16-year-old entrepreneur and renowned investor, Seamus Madden. Seamus dives right into the topics of entrepreneurship, tech, and venture capital to provide new insights to the audience every week. He interviews founders, executives, venture capitalists, and CEOs of multi-billion-dollar tech companies to unpack their stories and perspectives. To check out the MBIT podcast, just search MBIT, that's MBIT, on your favorite podcast player. This episode is sponsored by Brizo Healthy Fruit Tonic. With Manuka honey and apple cider vinegar, less than 4 grams of sugar, and under 35 calories per can, each of Brizo's 4 flavors not only taste great, they are an excellent source of vitamin C. Brizo boosts your immune system and is great for your post-workout recovery. Brizo, available on Amazon and at brizo.com.
No, I
Start the
don't.
show.
I know. I'm never in charge, Marcus.
Why,
What-
and
what
why
do you-
is that?
What do you want to talk about today?
Story of my
Wait a minute,
life.
Corey, why are you not in charge?
Why am I?
Let's start the
not?
show.
See, this is what he does. This is what he does. We love you, Bob. It's going.
Yeah, everything's going.
Everything's good.
Everything's going.
Okay. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
I have Mr. Marcus Flanagan,
Thanks for
who
having
I'm
me.
a little bit verklempt, if you want to call it, because I've obviously been in this business a while, and you are one of my faves, and so it's really really nice to meet you. I'm
Oh, that's
excited.
really flattering.
No, you're just so talented, and I
Oh.
actually wrote this down when I was.
That's nice to hear. Thanks.
Well, So I think when I think of you,
She's your fan. Remember the one you said you had a fan?
Yes.
I'm the one.
That's her.
Yes.
I'm the one. But I've always said, as an actress myself, that a good actor draws you in to the project. A great actor makes you want to find the projects that they're in to watch it.
Right.
And so you're one of those greats for me that like,
Really?
oh gosh, Marcus Flanagan, so I've got to watch this. Yeah, I mean, you've been in, morning show, Born on the 4th of July,
Yeah.
Supernatural.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on. You've been doing this a long time. And you are just incredible at it. So I want to dive into you,
Oh boy.
your history, your testimony if you have one.
Okay.
We have a lot of entertainment people that watch this show.
Testimony. Okay.
So I know you're also an acting coach as well.
Yeah, teacher. Yeah.
A teacher.
Yeah.
So maybe you could, Bob said maybe you can give me some tips today.
Oh, sure. Sure.
Please.
We can have
Please.
we can have a beginner lesson if I'm sure you don't
How about
need
don't
it.
argue with the producer?
Why would I argue with the producer? He's
No,
a buddy of
teach
mine.
her. Yeah,
Oh,
teach her not to argue
yeah.
with the
First
producer.
thing. Yeah. No, learn to take direction. Yeah, that's it.
Don't make fun of the producer. Do everything the producer says.
Make sure your producer loves you and doesn't in any way fear being around you. Yeah.
No, I mean you have a really. It's difficult in this business to have longevity, right, of any kind, and you've just sustained that throughout your career, and you have a great career. And so
What about
brought
sticking to
you?
the script?
What's that?
What about sticking to the script?
We don't have a script.
What do we do first before every episode?
I'm sorry. We have a word of the day, Marcus,
Oh, okay. What is it? Okay, let's
and
go.
it
Alright,
is a
so-
fear word.
I'm going to give you a fear word, a phobia word, and you got to tell me what it is. I hope this works.
Oh, okay.
Oops.
Anglophobia.
Anglophobia. A-N-G-L-O-phobia. Anglophobia.
It's fear of English people.
Yes, it's the thing. I don't have my thing here. The fear of England.
Oh, England.
Because-
Okay.
I don't know why.
Aren't you going to England?
I am. Yeah.
That's why.
Oh,
I'm on my way to London. Yeah. Well done.
are you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are our buttons and our noises?
You know what? I'll go
understand.
get it. I might forget.
Like,
Sound
I have
effects.
a couple names I want to drop.
I'll tell you what. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I
I'll
need
go
my
get
name,
them.
but
How do we know when we're on and when we're off?
we are on? We've been rolling since he said.
There is no off.
Oh.
Since he said, let's start the show over what I was saying. So we're just rolling. Yeah, so we're just going to keep rolling.
And
But
you've done 55 or 6 of these?
we've done, this will be, you are our 97th.
97?
Yeah. We may
Oh,
hold this one to
my.
100. I don't know, because you're just like, you're Marcus Flanagan.
You really put the time in. You guys are all in on this. That's
Yes,
lovely.
We did, and it just kind of stemmed
Yeah.
from one little conversation one day, and 9 months ago, it's
And that's all. 100
10
in
months, maybe?
9 or 10 months.
10 months. I'm
You
not
guys
sure.
are moving.
We have. It's been really fun
Yeah.
journey though.
Yeah.
And as you know, this is a different seat for an actress to be interviewing
Mm-hmm.
people. Like usually you're getting interviewed, and it's but it's definitely a different seat. And I've been enjoying it, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll have some tips and what to do better at the end of this for me. But we sure missed you, Bob. Thank you.
Bob.
I'm back.
He got his buttons.
Oh,
Those are the buttons.
that's the important one.
Yes, Marcus.
You're great, Bob.
Yep, we're back.
We're back.
Oh,
This
boy.
isn't about you, Bob. This is about Marcus today.
Thanks.
Marcus Flanagan.
Listen. I'm all in on
Don't you mean Michael Flanagan?
Don't
Bobby
do that
V.
to me.
that's what you call him,
first of
Bobby
all-
V.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the morning show.
Oh, okay, sure.
Because you're phenomenal in it, and I love that show. I was obsessed with it. Tell me about your interview process.
Super,
on
really,
that.
okay. Quite fun. Vicky Thomas is a lovely casting director, and one of those that you have as an actor. You get the ones that just don't see you and don't like you and don't get you, and then you get the ones that all bring you in every time there's anything close because they just like you. And she's one of those for me. So when I auditioned, it was a script that was not the morning show. All very, very hush-hush NDAs and such, right? So even the script is...
Because we know.
Because, right, yeah, we were reading it and you're thinking, I feel like I've seen this. Why have I missed? Oh, that's right, this was... Isn't it? She
Right.
says, yeah, it's from...
Right.
So they just want to see you. And that was it. Read, hey, you're going to work. First season on that show was the most opulent shooting budget. I check in at the gate. I mean, this story can go for an hour. I check in at the gate and I call and say, I just want to make sure I know where you are. And the wardrobe guy says, I'll just come and get you. I said, what do you mean you'll come? He said, I'll get you in a cart. Never happens. You always walk across the lot. He comes in. I said, how can you come and get me? He said, you'll see. It's pretty luxurious. Why? He says,
gosh.
he said, I put 50 people in every show. 50 people. We're dressing 50 people per show. Apple has said there's no budget. So if the writers write And at the
And
party,
by no budget, I mean unlimited budget.
Yes.
Because
Correct. I'm sorry, yes.
I've done no budget films, but these are like
no,
unlimited.
right, not nominal. Yes, right. Yeah, there is no limit to the budget. So if the writer writes, so and so looks across the room and sees Beyonce, Jay-Z, Bill Clinton, they just get them. They just call and say, "How much for the day?" Great, and all they do in a passing shot, and Apple pays it. So he says, it'll never be like this again because somebody will come in season 2 and realize how much money they're burning. But for now, it's pretty great. And it was true. Went to
How
the set
wonderful.
and they did what I've never heard of before. It was a rolling lunch. And for 5 hours, they just put out food. And you go when you have a break that's comfortable and you eat lunch. But every single person there is on meal penalty every day. Wow. Every. So I made more in penalties and overtime than salary.
Because in this business, for those who don't know, you do get a per diem. You do get, if you're on location, you obviously
we were downtown LA.
You were downtown.
But you get, if they don't feed you by a certain hour, or if they make you work, right, turn around, all the penalties that show up. Plus, they didn't stop shooting. So at 1:30 in the morning, after 14 hours, the director says, "Okay, let's bring in the crane." Which is the last thing any AD allows happen at 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
The crane is a 45-minute setup, and it's a long shot. And I'm like, waiting for the AD to go, no crane, we're not doing it. And sure enough, the AD's like, yep, let's bring in the crane, please. And I was like, we're going to go into 16.
That's a lot of money.
For a little background, you've been in dozens, if not hundreds, of TV shows, right?
Over 150.
Yeah, over 100. So you know the business, you know what's going on.
Yeah, my eyes opened. Wait a minute, at this hour? So we go to hour 16, which for actors is something like triple time.
Triple time. And this is a SAG production. It's
Yeah.
union.
Yeah. So I think literally I made almost 2/3 in penalties that I did the salary. It was just amazing. I got the check and thought, how? And that was one guy
You're running cash out one quick.
One guy for the day. Everybody in the crew got same.
Yeah.
Everybody in the cast got same.
Yeah, and then if you have like the leads that have a higher pay, they get more. I mean,
well, they're on salary. They're producers. They get what they get, right?
Right.
But second season, I go back. Totally different show.
Really?
This is the offer. This
Someone
is what you
got it.
get. Period.
Someone said, "What happened?"
Yep. And
bunch of bean counters.
Yeah,
came in
but
there,
it ran like clockwork too. Great set, great fun. Again, with the script, not all that generous. So a lot of the time, I'd show up and say,
What am I
"Why
lying?
is this significant? What is the meaning here?" Because they don't give you the script to read. It's all very hush hush, and you can get by with this. Yeah, fine. But I go up to Billy Crudup, really good guy, and say, "Billy, I'm mentioning, is this heavy?" He said, "Yeah, it's really heavy." So he gave me the updates, and then I go and shoot. Great set, great fun, great. And the Mimi Leader directed me in 2, and then there were 2 other women. I did 4 in season 2. I got to meet Dave Grohl and hang out with Dave Grohl. I have a Dave Grohl story. He was dynamite. He absolutely changed. He has that. This has happened a few times. Seinfeld was the same. Mike Nichols was the same. There's a quality when you meet someone great, and they're the easiest person to meet. There's this lovely quality. They're so grounded. They're so their own thing. So they do this morning show thing where he surprises, they do a whole concert, we get to see the thing, and I'm in the crowd. And at the end they say, "All right, big photo, everybody on the stage, we're gonna get a big cast photo." So I walk up, I play a clip in my acting classes where it's called Thousand Rockers, and these 1,000 Italian musicians went to a
Foo
field.
Fighters one.
The Foo Fighters.
It's amazing.
So they go to a field, and they play a Foo Fighters song, and at the end, the guy that created it says, "We did this because we want the Foo Fighters to come and play for us in Cesena, Italy. Please, please, please."
It took him a year and a half. He wanted the Foo Fighters to come and play his town. They weren't on the tour schedule. And it's this little town in Italy.
Yep.
Took a year and a half. He got 1,300 guitar players, 300 bass players, 300.
And they play in sync.
And they played.
And then everyone sings.
Learn to Fly.
Yep, Learn to Fly.
And if you watch it, the video shows all. It was amazing. Grohl liked it so much they came and played his town.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So they beg, right? So I play this for my students. And at the end I say, "So what do you think?" And they all go, "Yeah, it's kind of cool, yeah." And I say, "But you're missing the enormity. 1,000 people went to a field to play, to ask artists to come and do what they do.
Right.
They begged them.
Right.
So consider the impact you could have as an artist. Consider that if you sit down out of your brain and you write a song, in 2 years, 4 years, it could become people devoted to your music begging you. Think of the impact of art.
Yes.
Think of how you can change
Yes.
lives." So I do that for my students, and they say, "Oh, yeah, I guess it is a big thing." I said, "Guys, how flattered would you be if you got a video of 1,000 people saying, please do your play in our town, Gary, that's heady. I was like, so when you get low and you think, why do I do this? Why is this alone? Why do I feel so lost and does it matter? Please remember the day, because it can matter to 1,000 people in Italy that do this. Now it's gotten 400 million hits, and of course, it's shocking.
Yeah.
So there's Dave Grohl. And I say, can I ask you a question? And he, in the midst of all this chaos, to get this picture, hey, we're moving around, and all the Foo Fighters and all the cast up, he turns to me and he says, yeah, what's up? And everything else stopped. And I said, I play this clip of the 1,000, rockers. I wondered what it was like for you when how did that come across to you? When he says, and he goes, dude, I'll tell you the story. Now, over his shoulder, he's like, Dave, can you move, Dave? We need you here, Dave. Absolutely ignore him. He's with me. And I feel the pressure of everybody's about to shove me. But he's locked.
Money.
And he's just saying, there's nothing in him that says, okay, nothing. He just stays with me. And he says, dude, I wake up, my phone, you got to see this video. It's blowing up. You got to see this video. And I'm thinking, was it like cats coming off a couch again, or dogs leaping over the, TikTok. Funny videos. Another one. Finally, what video is this? I play it, and I'm watching, and I just start crying, dude. I'm crying. And I looked at it, and I said, everybody I know, reach out, find that guy. By the end of the day, we spoke to him. We told him we were coming. That was an amazing day. And I said, I play that for my students, man. And I tell them the impact you can have. I'm really glad to hear that it went that way. And he says, you're a teacher? Dude, that's amazing. That's great. My mom was a teacher. Good for you, bro. Good for you. It's the best thing you can do, man. Excellent. I'm really glad to hear that. And so I go, I don't know, selfie? And he goes, of course, dude.
You're kidding me.
I do the selfie, and he's all smiles, show it to you. And he's all
You
smiles.
have to superimpose that here.
Yeah, send us a copy of the picture.
Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
So that's my Dave Grohl story. So now I can tell my students, after I play that, I met him and I asked him, and it changed him. What I got from him was, there's this ultimate, he's got the reputation to be the nicest guy in the business. And it's interesting, because the same thing happened when I did Seinfeld. My shot was done, and Jerry stood there with me, and everybody's moving, and Jerry, and he just said, you did a great job. There's a lot of people watching this show. And I did the episode, my episode was 3 episodes from the end of the entire, right before the finale. So he said, those writers are going to go on, they're going to remember you. You did a great thing here today. And I said, I didn't realize you were in the script ever. And he sat and watched the script. And he said, oh yeah. I said, for 10 years you're on every page? He said, yeah. I said, you must be exhausted. He goes, really exhausted. Really exhausted. And I said, so the finale must be great. Yeah. And he said, oh, I don't know. And I said, how can you not know? And he said, oh, that's comedy. You throw it out there and you hope. And I got a massive lesson, because if the #1 show that seemed like Bulletproof, it was clockwork funny, right? It seemed bulletproof. If he still believes we toss it out, that's what real good comedy is. I've been on so many shows where they know what comedy is. And you try and be funny, and they say, don't do it that way, do it this way. And you think, well, why'd you hire me? If you know what comedy is, why didn't you just tell me, do everything? You didn't tell me in the audition. Why you not? I've done that. And for him to say, and I thought, that's why it's the #1 show. They still know. We don't know.
He stayed humble about it. Well,
the process is the process.
Yes.
But once money and accolades come in, everyone gets tight and says, we've got to make this happen magic every day, instead of stay with the process.
Yes.
And the finale ended up being a huge disappointment, remember? People hated it.
Yes.
And I thought...
It wasn't the MASH ending. It was, because again, it was the #1 show.
They tried everything, right? They threw everything at it.
They brought everybody back in.
Right.
They brought the soup Nazi guy back in.
I thought him.
Everybody,
They tried, and you hope. And I thought, oh, he's not anywhere worried and wondering. He's saying, oh, we tried.
Yeah.
So he was one of those presences, and I really enjoyed. So on the morning show, the end of that day, the end of that whole episode for me was more meeting Dave Grohl and having that impact of, when you really are who you are and what you want to be, you're just not rattled.
Yeah,
you're so he was just so engaging.
And your response is also that of what he did, which was reach out immediately, because he was humbled in that moment when he saw his phone. He was still, after all those audiences and all that accolades and adulation, he still is in the moment when he gets that video. It's incredible.
And as I left, he said, hey, dude, keep teaching, man. That's great. It's good to know, man. It's good to know. Stay with it. It's noble, dude. It's noble.
And that's
his bass player. In Moore Park, there's a rock and roll pizza place down the street from where I used to live. And his bass player, I think, knew the owner or was invested, whatever it is. And his bass player has a band called Chevy Metal. So they went to go play at the thing, and a couple people, the Foo Fighters showed up and did a Foo Fighters song. All of a sudden, it was 1,000 people. You couldn't get in.
Yeah.
And they're there.
Yeah.
So they just, it's like a Springsteen thing. You just show up and play.
That's right.
Nobody announced it, but everybody got on the phones, called, and everybody ran down there.
Musicians want to play.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just want to play. Artists want to do what they do.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. I say to my students all the time, the euphoria of being on a stage or a set and having a scene, being able to tell the story and live this life and truthfully go through it and feel, right? That lovely, you're not my wife, but for these 2 minutes, you're going to be we're going to hash it out and it's going to go for real.
Yeah.
That euphoria of having that honest thing happen. And we know it's all make-believe, but it's so, right, earnest and so connected. That euphoria is what makes actors sleep on couches to get back on stage or to get back in the set. That isn't replaced anywhere else. And I will give you the 10-second, Marcus's 10-second lesson on the difference between actors and civilians. If you divide the whole world, even though it's not even, but let's just say, half the world, it's more like 98% of the world's civilians, 2% actors. And here's the difference. Civilian goes to a movie or a ballet or a museum, right? Concert. Something happens in that moment and they feel connected. This lovely wash over them of, I'm not alone. And I feel great having come here. They've influenced me. I love being in the room with that music or that. They feel that and they say, I'm not alone. I feel good. Thanks. Right? They get redeemed in some way. And they go home. The artist does that, same thing. And that moment hits them and they say, oh my, that's I feel, wow. The artist says, okay, I want to do that back. I realize I want to be the person that is in a position to make that influence happen because that felt. And it only makes sense to artists to put out the effort and the grind, and the often, no reward life to be able to be part of that cycle, because you get on stage once and you hear someone go, and everything changes, right? Your body changes with, I just made, which is much more powerful than, bank tellers have their jobs, but they get smiles, they get this, that they never really feel that I influenced, I changed something in another person. So that's how you know. When that moment happens and you decide to jump in, that's the division line. That makes you an artist. And then, of course, you got to be really brave. You got to stand up and be really brave and really try hard to make that thing keep going, because it's fraught with criticism and self-doubt. And who am I to think I'm somebody that could go in front of people? And you do your training, but there's always insecurity. The thing is, you keep getting driven. Mr. Meisner, who's my teacher, said, behavior never lies. So if I keep going, clearly I want to do it. My behavior never lies. But if you ask me, to have coffee with you and never show up, clearly you didn't want to have coffee with me, even though you asked, but your behavior didn't bring you to the room. Therefore, right? So.
No, it's so true. And everything you just said summed it up into one sentence that Dustin Hoffman told me in a moment. Good. We're going to name drop right now. That's my name drop button. Yeah.
Drops for a while, huh?
It was a big name.
Oh, it's a big name.
It's a big name. Good one, Bob. Really nice. Really nice how you really play that in. No, but he did say this, and it's to your point. He said, Corey, acting is reacting.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like a button that, it is, because I might react differently than you might, but the casting director likes the way that you react, right? And sticking with the choice and being consistent with it and carrying it through. And one of the things about you and your acting is when you are acting, it's like it's not acting for me. It's more of yourself reacting in that moment, and you draw people in.
You think so? Oh, that's nice to hear.
I do think so. I know
That's
so.
nice
I
to
mean,
hear.
you really do. And some people don't, and that's not their fault. It's just,
Well,
you
it's
have
a
a
different approach.
gift. And
I have a question.
I'm sorry.
Do you feel like you get casted as the bad guy more often than not? I was just watching the Frankenstein show that we were talking about before.
Bad guy.
Were you the evil doctor in Frankenstein?
Yeah, in Supernatural. Yeah. No, I don't know about the bad guy. Just usually the
heady?
corrupt guy. or the-
Yeah. Well, that's still a bad guy, yeah.
Because generally the shows are the good guys and the guest stars are the bad guys.
Right.
That's true, yeah.
Right.
So until you were a series regular, you
And you don't look like a
generally
victim. So
Yeah, right.
you're never going to be the guy that got beat up
Right.
and said, somebody help me, yeah.
Yeah. Not the helpless victim. No. Yeah, just usually the mastermind or the guy behind the the actual at the end, he did it. Yeah, the dad, or the lawyer, or the coach. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about your worst. I have my stories, Ben. Every actor or actress has their story about their worst audition.
Have you done it
Done
on
what?
on this show? Have you told the worst story?
Yes.
We've heard it.
Disney. No, that was the dumbest. No offense.
I know.
I'll give you the 30-second one. Give me a 30-second rule of your Disney audition.
I went in with 5 people. It was one of my first auditions. I had no idea what to expect. I had only done plays in my hometown, and I'm from a very small town. And so I go in and they're like, it's a Disneyland commercial, clearly. And they said, okay, we're going to slate your name. There's 5 people there. I'm like, what is slate? I had no idea what slate meant. So I was like, my name's Corey Oliver, Coryooli. I'm spelling it. I'm doing all these weird things. And they're like, okay, so what is your favorite ride at Disneyland? And I was like, oh. And I had cotton balls in my mouth at that point. And I just was dying inside. I don't know if you've had those moments, but this was my moment. And I was like, oh, I'm going to totally nail this. And I'm like, my favorite ride is Magic Mountain. I'm dyslexic, so I said a whole other theme park.
That has nothing to do with dyslexia.
I meant to say...
If you said Mountain Magic, that would have been dyslexia.
I meant to say the Matterhorn, because that was my favorite ride. But they were like, who is this dumb girl? And they booked me. I got home. By the time I got home...
They said, she's funny.
Yeah.
She insulted us right to our face.
It's a good
Hire
lesson.
that girl.
It's a good lesson.
It is a good lesson, and you're just you never ever know what they're looking for. I've walked into rooms where, my agents forgot to tell me you're supposed to wear, this, and I wear something completely different, and I'm the one person that gets it. Maybe because you stood out on camera. Who knows?
Corey has a great friend, Jay Davies, who's stand-up. Davis.
Jay Davis.
Stand-up comedian.
Yes.
He gave a whole story where he was one of 1,000 people at an interview. And it was April Fool's. He decided to fake a heart attack, but it kept going, and he couldn't get out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
They
great.
called the paramedics.
That's
and he didn't know when to stop the
Talk
joke.
about
so,
a backfire.
He's hilarious too as a comedian, but I'm telling you, there are those moments, and I feel like I wish they could pull those tapes up on us. What was your moment, your defining moment, or the moment where you were like, okay, wait, this is going all wrong? Or I have another story too. I'll share, but it's
Oh, in auditions, you mean?
yes.
Oh, I have so many.
horrible,
I
horrible
wrote a
moments.
whole book about it.
Oh,
I wrote an actor's book. I guess you don't know, but it's
I
called
always know about books too.
It's called One Less Better Actor, and there is a chapter in it called Nightmares. And in it are mine and others' stories. And I tell them in the book to help the young actor read these things, and if they find themselves in the middle of something bizarre, hopefully they will say, oh, this isn't out of the norm. Crazy things have happened to many actors along the way, and I outline. So my most embarrassing, I grew up loving Chorus Line.
Rookie mistake, sorry.
Yeah, it's her 97th show. It's not like
Close.
I'm the 98%.
You know what's funny? You will be the 97th show. I'm not kidding.
That's what I said.
she told me. Yeah.
Oh, you told? Oh, okay.
So
You should have let me just think it was a...
I get to audition for Chorus Line the movie. I'm just out of acting school, and it's my favorite musical at the time. It actually was one of those moments. I went to Philly, saw the traveling company, and it knocked me over. I was 18 and sitting in Philly at this, and I couldn't believe what a show musical could do, especially the very personal discussion. I thought this is magic. Wow, it just changed me. 2 or 3 nights in the theater can change you, certain shows. So that was one of them for me. The movie comes up, and I'm getting in this movie. This means something to me. So I go. You have to first audition as an actor, then you have to go and dance, and then you have to go sing. And so I go to a very small office, 2 guys. I do a quick scene. They go, pretty good. All right, you're in. Dance audition. Minskoff Studios, Friday. Run home. I'm in this. My God, I'm going to go to the...
I better learn how to dance.
Well, luckily at the neighborhood playhouse where I went to school, we did have to take ballet
did
and
you? Okay,
jazz
good.
and modern.
Okay.
So I just spent 2 years moving. I'm not a dancer, but I did move. But it's Minskoff Studios and stuff. So I borrowed leg warmers, so I looked the part. Yeah.
You went flash
That
dance
had
on
to
this?
be in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
went flash dance.
Oh, yeah. Well,
everybody else
because
did, so.
The choreographer for Chorus Line was the choreographer for Flashdance.
Okay.
It was him. He walks in with the sweatshirt cut across the
No.
shoulder. Yeah, that was his style. She stole it from him. So he walks into the room, and I'm limbering up. I'm doing all right. So he says, "Here's the dance," and the room is littered with dancers. Everybody is great. 50, 60 people, some crazy number, right? Big studio. So We're going to play the music. Here's the dance.
Here's what I'm picturing. Remember Friends
Yes.
with Joey? Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember it, but
Joey said he was a dancer, and the instructor said, "I gotta leave, Joey. You're in charge. Teach him how to dance." And he knew nothing about dancing.
so he walks in. He shows us the routine, and then the music just plays in a loop, and everyone just keeps practicing and practicing.
Yeah.
It keeps playing in a loop, and they do. And I'm looking around, and I'm just watching dancers, and how they mark things out. Wow, these guys are good. And Terrence Mann, hopefully he'll hear this at some point. Terrence Mann, the sweetest guy, didn't know who he was, but he says, "I'm Terry Mann." Comes over and says, "Hey, you're working on that kick thing. And I'm not bad. I remember all the steps. I'm actually good at marking the steps. So I feel pretty good about I'm getting through this. There's just this fouette where you kick your leg out, and then you got to bring it back in." And he says, "Let me show you how to cheat that." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, no, they won't notice." And he does. He said, "Stand in the mirror with me." And he shows me how he says, "Just bring your leg in now. See? Doesn't." I said, "Wow, thanks. Sure. What a nice guy." I've always heard it's cutthroat at these things, dancers. But he was, I come later to learn he's Terrence Mann. I didn't know at the time. So I get through this thing, and I'm doing the routine. I'm nailing it.
You're nailing it.
I'm watching it. I'm watching myself. I'm thinking, I have all these steps. Boom, boom, boom. One thing in class at the Playhouse I did was pirouettes because they were fun. So I loved doing them, and I actually could get to where I did 3 or 4 all the time. I could do 3 or 4 and stop, and I was so proud in ballet that I could do that. And we had to do a pirouette. I said, I actually got this. All the moves, and I'm watching, I'm counting, I'm with everybody. Door opens. Sir Richard Attenborough is the director of this movie.
God, are you joking?
They come in with 4 tables and 12 people, and they all open up binders. Boom, 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 boom,
Talk
boom.
about the pressure.
Choreographer walks in and says, "We're going to put you in groups of 4, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. You'll switch 2 and 2. All right, Tom, Miranda, Joe, yeah." And they play the music. Go. Switch. Go. Thank you. They leave. Next 4, right? Finally, I go up. Whew, yeah, 4. Got it. I go up and I do it. And it's a pirouette right. And I, for some reason, pirouette left. I go, "Why did I do that? Why did I do that?" "Well, that was weird." I go, "Switch to the front." I do it again. And I pirouette right. "Why did I do that? That's weird. I know it's supposed to go. I went left and it's supposed to be right." It was,
Oh my God.
So Richard Attenborough goes, No, that's okay. And the choreographer says, "Let me help you. Everyone sit down. I'll do it with you." He gets up and he stands right next to me. And he says, "Here we go, you and me." And I thought, "Oh, okay."
Oh my God.
Okay. Do-da-da. And we get to the pirouette, and I go pirouette left again.
Oh my God.
And instead of going right, and as I'm pirouetting the wrong way, I'm pirouetting, and I see the choreographer's face as I'm turning, and on his face is, "There's nothing I can do for you. There's nothing else I can do for you." And we come to the stop, and I stop, and I'm just panicked. And Sir Richard Attenborough says, "Well, you tried."
That is one of the greatest stories we've
And I was just, yeah. Now, everyone in this room has watched me, absolutely, right, implode.
Go left and not
I'm
right.
no dancer, but I want to be in this movie. And now I'm standing there. The door is there. My dance bag is there. And I do not want to go get it and have to walk.
No.
I just want to make it to the door.
Just go to the-
And I'm deciding, do I leave it? Just ditch the bag. Ditch the bag. Don't
No.
stand for the bag. Don't.
That's a
But
long
I
walk.
slink over. I get the bag, and because I borrowed the dance bag, so I would look
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
So I slink and I go around, and as I'm going past everybody watching, I'm getting all the looks of, "Yes, I'm glad you're gone." And I get out, and from Midtown Manhattan, I was so upset. I ran all the way home to when I lived in Spanish Harlem. I ran the entire city just to burn the energy of that, right? That negative anxiety. God, I blew it. Well, you tried. I guess that means I'm not going any further, Richard.
Yeah. Not on this project, but those are those moments.
I can do it better.
Yeah.
But that was an early audition, and once you survive that,
Oh yeah.
a lot of them become easier.
Oh yeah.
You know?
You do, and you have to laugh at yourself. I've literally one time had my agent call me and say, you really do need to invest in a push-up bra. And this was the time when they were, it was all big, whatever.
There's a time when it wasn't
Well,
allowed?
I don't know. Yeah, I know, right? And I was like, I don't know. This just seems so silly. So I went and got these chicken cutlets at Victoria's Secret. They look like chicken cutlets. It's like a gel kind of thing, and you stick them in your already sports bra. And I go to an audition for Nike.
Hired.
Nope. It's not how my life goes, just so you know. We are on the same page. They want me to run. And so I borrowed my roommate's sports bra, which was a little bit big, but I thought it'll fit with the chicken
Right, sure.
cutlets.
Yeah.
No problem. I've got this. They're like, can you run? So I'm like really trying to run and like squeeze my rib cage so that it's holding everything here. And I'm running there. Can you just run a little bit faster and then run in a circle? And then we want you to jump up and down. I was like, no.
Then the
I
trampoline
jumped up
comes
and
out.
down, and the chicken cutlet slides through my sports bra out on the floor. And I literally did what you did, but I did not have a bag. I was like, thank you. Thank you so much. I left the chicken cutlet on the floor and it was over.
Oh.
But I just thought, you know what? The things that people don't know
Yeah.
actors go through in those
yeah.
moments. That
yeah.
first of all, if you can survive the humiliation, the rejection, and all that comes with that, it really does thicken your skin.
Yeah. I can help you with the rejection.
No, I mean, I'm over the rejection. Listen, I've been married twice. Both of them left me. I'm done with the
She's a
rejection.
pro at rejection,
I'm so
trust me.
good at it.
Let me ask you this. At any time during those marriages, did your chicken cutlets fall out?
Maybe
Was
I
that-
should have had chicken cutlets.
Yeah.
No, they
No.
did not.
Okay.
But
That
you
wasn't
know,
cause.
you live and you learn.
That was
and-
dynamite. Yeah.
And
No, that's great
that
stuff.
just sounds like a Jerry Seinfeld scene though, your dance audition. Like
It's
that's
so,
hysterical.
Yeah. I got a few. I mean, you know, I've auditioned, I don't know how many, 2,000 times.
Yeah.
And they've been people looking at their watches right in the middle of your reading.
It's La La Land.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, kid, we've been waiting on lunch. If lunch shows up in the middle of your audition, we're just going to shut you down. And it did.
Are you kidding?
Oh,
Door,
really?
door opened, boxes of food. Sorry, kid. And they ate their food. They were so hungry. And the casting director, would you like to wait till when they're done eating? I don't think so. I think we're done. They just,
It's brutal.
yeah, that sort of thing. Like you don't get that there's a human being here trying to be on your show. No. And
Who most likely studied for 4 or 5 days, went to their acting coach privately just to get to the, and then
yeah.
had to find parking back then. It was like
yes, that's
3
right.
hours.
That's right.
There was,
Yeah.
what was the movie Showgirls? And the guy from LA Law, I forget, Douglas Bracken, whatever his name was
yeah.
like the choreographer. And it was like the next season, and a girl came up and he goes, didn't I see you last season? Yeah. What did I say to you? She said, get a new nose. Did you get a new nose? Yes. He goes, get bigger boobs. Get out of here. And it was, she spent like all year with a new nose waiting for it.
These
And
are
then
terrible.
Yeah. But that's, yeah.
What did I tell you? Get a new nose.
What was your first audition?
Okay. I'm going to think about that.
Professional after school.
Yeah, like his professional
Okay.
audition.
I'm going to guess. I think it's a movie. It was a low budget movie, and I ended up getting the movie. At the same time-ish, I got an audition for a play. So that might have been it because they were at the same time, and it looked like, one of the two was going to come through. And I wanted the play because it was a Lincoln Center play, and I was a brand new actor. And for me to get into this play, but I tell the story in class. But there's these things you do, because you're so terrified.
yes.
It's Lincoln Center, and it's New York City, and gosh, and I was good for the play. I understood the play, and I got the play. I'm totally understood. So I went in, and I had 6 callbacks for that, and they went with a guy you might have heard, Brad Peck, Andrew, what's his name? The Irish kid, in the Brad Pack, was in all the movies. Can't think of his name.
McCarthy.
McCarthy.
Yes.
He got the part. Yeah.
Yes.
But what it did was it ingratiated me to the theater casting world because this new guy that had been out of school got to the end and was almost chosen for this play. So you should know him. And that got me into a lot of theatrical auditions in New York City as a new guy because I approved it in the room 5 times, And on the 6th callback, they went with a guy that they knew, he had a bit more career.
Yeah.
So that was helpful. It was either that or this rugged, street gang, New York City street gang movie, low budget movie that I ended up getting and doing. It was one of the 2 of those, but
West Side Story.
it
I was just gonna say,
ish,
what's
but
your-
It was more of a
What's the role that I'm asking you all these questions because now he's in front of me.
Yeah.
That you went out for that you just really, 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 really wanted aside from the complete and total dance faux
Yeah,
pas.
of course, yeah.
But like opposite, you just
Corey. I used to keep a list of those, but I find it useful to let go and say, well, that didn't happen. There's a lot to being an actor that is best part you can do for yourself is stay sane. And that's what allows you to audition over and over, is that you stay sane. Harping on, I've auditioned for and made, great efforts and nailed and totally thought I should have gotten hundreds of parts.
Yeah.
The nice thing is, everything I ever auditioned for on TV pilots that I got became a series. Everything that I every pilot I ever went for, they didn't hire me, never made it to air. And I'm talking about 40 pilots, 40 network
40
tests.
pilots where
That's the blessing of
they
Abraham.
didn't use you in the pilot.
Correct.
It didn't work.
It didn't go.
The ones that you did the pilot worked.
That's
Okay.
You picked up on the pilot.
Yeah, right.
But
yeah, they all went
that's
to
to my
series.
point that I originally, when we first started talking and you stepped out of the room, I said a good actor draws you in, a great actor makes you want to find the project and watch it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, oh,
I think
Marcus
what you're talking
Flanagan's
about
in
is
it.
the
I'm
truth.
gonna.
I think what you're talking about is if there's a lot of, there's a lot of Corey-looking women, your height, your hair, your ethnicity, your eyes, right? There's a lot.
He's saying you're 1 in a million.
I'm saying,
So kind of
how
you.
you make yourself 1 in a
Yeah.
million is you commit to being 100% Corey's ideas and Corey's experiences, and you put them into the part. But the only thing that separates you from everybody else in the room that is going to be, now these days casting can be anything. So the only thing is what you hand over of you into the role. And that's your individuality. That's the only thing that separates you. Because if you're trying to do what you think you're reading on the page, this sounds like a sitcom I've seen 500 times. They must want this kind of humor. It looks and feels like that.
Right.
I'm now guessing that what they want is, so I'm going to try and do what they want, which is another guess. So now I have two people guessing. I'm guessing, and they're guessing because they don't know what they want. If they did, they just say, Corey, 6 o'clock,
That's
be
right.
here.
That's right.
So they watch what people do. Now, they're guessing and they're saying, big sentence in Hollywood. I don't know what I want, but I'll know when I see it. Big sentence, right? If you show your individuality and how you see the part, regardless of, I've read this 1,000 times, seen this 1,000 times, and every actress that ever did this role did it this way, so if I do it that way, I can get the role. If you do that, they have a right not to hire you. They have a right to hire the girl that did that originally,
Right.
that you're copying.
Right.
But if you do it Corey's way, that's how you distance yourself from everybody else. And you're going to go in now, and there's going to be Asian men 10 years older than you for the same role,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because it's diversity casting.
Yes.
So everybody is open for everything.
And what you said is
We've
so
had a lot
true.
of directors and producers say when they're doing these castings, they're mainly looking for people they can train and teach how they want it done.
Really?
So they've gotten a lot of.
I don't know, because I have been in the room when I will be outside and I heard a girl doing her role, the same role I was about to go in for, and she was not doing any single solitary thing that was on the page. Not one word. Not even one
She
word.
was just improvising.
And
It's
I was
good.
like, no problem, I've got this, because I have it all memorized.
Yeah.
And she got the role. She got the part. But she committed to not doing one single part. And I heard them saying, hey, no, it actually says this. And then she'd go back over and do it her way. But they booked her. So it's like so weird. And
But that was David Dietrich. He said, "I'm looking for somebody who I can work with. That's not going to
David,
cause me a
Yes,
problem and
he's-
say this
Great.
is the way I'm going to do it."
That's
you
two
know.
different things.
Yeah.
You're saying two different things.
Yeah.
What he's saying is,
Usually
you
we
show
are.
me a
Yeah,
complete,
you
show me
summed
a
up our
complete
whole show.
performance,
our whole
right?
Our entire show has been that.
Because directors on TV, and especially on TV shows, they don't direct actors.
Yeah.
They direct cameras.
Yeah.
Film
Right.
directors direct actors, but all TV directors do that they have time for is traffic, just making sure the show on time, on budget, right? So what you're not going to get from a TV director is anything. They're looking in the audition for you to bring the entire world. You got to bring the whole thing. So he has nothing to do on the set, on the day but tell you where to stand. That's the difference, right? So you show that in the room, and I say to my students, you show a whole environment. You let them know you are mentally in the place, at the diner, wherever you're supposed to be. Anything you do that lets them say, oh, that guy is effortless. He does the whole thing
that's
for
what
me.
I'm talking about with you, though. You're on camera, and it's like you're the one on. I'm telling you, I know. I've watched your stuff. It's how
Thanks. Thanks.
And
Well, listen, I was
confidence,
trained really well. I
Yeah,
was trained
but
really
a
well.
little bit of confidence too, in the sense that you might be shaking in your shoes because you're opposite so and so, or your first job or whatever. But if you can show them that you're confident in that moment, not cocky but confident.
Well, I'm really good looking.
Yeah, we've established that before you came in.
So you often get away
And
with
humble. Very humble.
Oh
Very
my God,
humble.
so humble.
I mean,
Jeez,
I won
that's-
awards for being humble.
That might be, that's my most admirable trait, really, being that I don't know how attractive I am or how humble I am. That's the,
can I ask you this question? I will, but I won't.
You're supposed to not
Yeah, I
acknowledge
have to-
the
I'm
scene
not
if the sign's
acknowledging
off
you
the
at
scene.
all.
I have to.
You looked at me and
I
said,
just
I
want to
will.
know
You
because
looked right at me in
I
the
know.
eyes. I will.
So subtle.
I know.
1 second. So
For those of you who are just listening, Bob's writing me notes, and I'm like
Okay.
trying to. Yes,
I
but
do have to say something.
yes, go ahead, please do. It's your show.
It is now.
I was hoping to do this because when Bob asked me, I said, "Okay, what am I going to do there?" And he said, "We're just going to talk about you." So I feel
And he said, okay.
I did
I'm in.
Yeah,
else
best
would
subject
you
ever. That and the Phillies, best subject
Yeah,
ever.
okay.
So I went to community college in Bucks County, and
You went to Bucks County Community College?
Bucks
BC,
Community
BC
College.
squared?
BCCC, right?
Yeah, BC Cube. I went to.
Right.
I didn't go to Monco, but I live near Monco, Montgomery County
Right.
Community College. yeah.
Right. So I go
Wait,
to the
where'd you go to high school?
Chamonix.
Okay, I went to LaSalle.
He's trying to get all
That's
that
right.
out right now. He's
That's right.
going down his
remember.
story. Just kidding.
So anyway, I did this thing at community college right out of high school. You go try and figure out what you want to do in life, and all I wanted to do was build cars. So that's all I could think of to do was I like cars. So I'm going to become an engineer, and I take chemistry, and I take math, right? And I take the English, and within the drop ad period of the first 2 weeks, I just drop chemistry. It's just brutal. And I pick up acting 1, and then I drop math, and I pick up movement 1, and I'll do it next semester. You know. So I get through that, and it's easy. It's breezy. The department is so easy breezy. So next semester, sign up for chemistry, sign up for that, drop it again, take acting 2, take movement 2, take improv. And so now I'm clearly in the theater department. And I'm going through, and this lovely woman, and this is why I wanted to do the podcast, because I hope she'll hear this. I never thanked her, but a lovely woman named Sharon O'Reilly, who was an instructor in the department, but was not my teacher, because I was in the early classes. She taught the advanced students. She pulls me aside and she says, "You don't belong here. You've got to go to this school in New York City called the Neighborhood Playhouse." Sandy Meisner never graduated anyone who was not ready to go to work the next day. You're better than this place. I'm going to write the letter for you, make the application. And I was just knocked over with, "Why do you care so much?" And she said, "I'm just watching you, and you're doing work beyond what we do. This is for simple, you've got to go."
Bucks County. Yeah, you
Bucks
didn't
County, yeah. And so,
Clearly, you didn't show her your dance moves.
all right, but I'm 18,
I know, I got you.
right? And I go, I apply, and I get a letter back saying, "No, you're too young. We do not take 18-year-olds because Mr. Meisner believes you have to have a certain level of experiential life experience, growth and emotional depth." And I say, "But, I paid my fee. I get an interview, don't I?" "Yes." "Okay, so I want my interview." "Well, you can come. You are entitled to it, but Mr. Meisner doesn't take 18-year-olds. And I said, "Okay, so I go to New York, take the train up from Philly. I walk across town. I get in. And Hal Baldridge, who ran the school, administrator, who was, rest in peace, talks to me. He says, "Look, why do you think?" And I plead my case. "I'm behind. I should have been doing this at 14. I love this. I need this," right? And he says, "Well, if your application floats to the top, we'll let you know." And I thought, well, what? That's lame. I mean, so I depressed. I left thinking, well, wow. But it was one of those things where I walked in. As I opened the door, I walked into, it's a very small building. It's a brownstone on the Upper East Side. It's not opulent. It's not in any way a Juilliard or American Academy where there's halls. It's somebody's converted home, and it's fantastic. The instant I walked in, there was that feeling of, oh, I belong here. I belong here. Okay, I got to stay here. I
yeah.
got to
You know
stay.
when you know.
The hallway, it all just hit. I got to. So that was me pleading. No. And as I left, I was depressed. I may not get to go there. Got the letter. You're in. How did I get in? My God. So I go. Instantly, and within 2 or 3 months, I realized what they meant. I was out of my league. I was a little kid amongst adults. I was terrified. They were talking about things I didn't get. They were asking you to have this, availability to these parts. What are you talking about? I don't know, man. It was terrifying.
Wow.
So I understood now. Well, that's why. But
How long did you last? How long did
I
you
graduated.
You graduated.
Oh, yeah. Beauty of the Neighborhood Playhouse is there's a first year of 75 kids. The second year is 25, and they're handpicked. They choose you. You don't get to go unless Mr. Meisner, in watching you, says, we're having you back. So first year, you get that. And then second, you add all the character and refining elements to the first year work that you did. So the number of Neighborhood Playhouse graduates over Mr. Meisner's career is 60 years times 25. That's the total number, right?
It's a 2-year school?
It is. It is, yeah. It's not a college. It's no affiliation. I have no degree. But what I got from that was everything I know about being an actor. Now I teach it because Mr. Meisner taught me, right? So I teach what he taught me, and that's part of the legacy of passing on what he gave me, because the school was affordable. The school was not. You got to co-sign loans on. It was, find a place to live. You can afford school. Everybody got by on little, but he made this thing happen for a lot of artists, right? So I do the same. I pass on his work. But I never went back to Sharon and said, you forced me to go there. You plucked me out of, you weren't even my teacher. And it changed me. And I've had a whole career because of you. Because you took the time to say, I've had a whole career. I can't. And I looked her up. I couldn't find her. I found an address in New Hope, and I sent a letter, never heard back. I don't know if it was a good address or not. I never went back to the school and said, or called her and said, Sharon, thanks for everything. And I feel kind of crappy about that.
No, teachers,
I hope she gets it cosmically, but...
You know what? Well, if you're out there, Sharon, we are dedicating this show to you. Because, honestly,
Thank
you know what? It's not. We talked about this in the last interview. It just takes one person to change our lives. And it sounds like she obviously started you on this, beautiful trajectory in the entertainment industry.
She did.
And saw something in
She
you.
furthered it, because you're insecure. What happened in high school was I got cut from the basketball team. And I walked down the hall to tell my sister, who was auditioning for West Side Story, the play, right? We're doing the musical. My sister had done every musical since she's 5. And I was going to make the basketball team. I'm senior. I've done nothing at high school, completely mediocre 4 years. But I said, I'm getting a letter, a athlete's letter, Letterman jacket, right? I'm getting a letter before I graduate so I can say I did something at this school. I worked every workout. I outplayed guys, and I got cut. I couldn't believe. I walked down the hall, because after school you have to wait the hour for the bus, till the bus takes you. And they're auditioning, and I tell my sister, teary, I cannot believe I can. She says, I feel so bad. Come do the play. It's West Side Story. We need guys. You're tall. You'll get a good part. So I said.
So you lettered in theater.
I was like, I really want to play basketball. I'm not a song and dance guy, And she says, no, you got it. Come on. So I listened to the song. And I'm listening. They're all singing same song, and singing. Okay, she's just learn it. It could be, who knows? There's something to.
I love your process.
It shows. Okay, all right, whatever. All right, fine. She's do it. We need guys. We do it. I walk in, and there's a legend at the Chamonix. Mr. Cluse, Ted Cluse, ran the music and the band and the chorus in 40 years. So the auditorium's named after him. He's a legend. Everyone knows Mr. Cluse. And I go in and, sign up and hello. And I say, I'm Marilyn's brother. Oh, I'm, and they got and he doing this, and I'm going, how you doing? And he's going, doing this, and I'm going, how you doing?
Yeah, that's
and I was like, he keeps nodding at me, and then he starts going, who knows? And I'm like, that was my cue to jump in. That's the nod. The nose. Okay, all right, okay. And I stumbled through. I do anything. It shows, make them kind of balling down from the sky, gleaming, but it's all that. And I get done, and Mr. Cluse says, where have you been? And that changed me. First time in high school anyone said, we need you.
Does your sister act?
I'm going to cry.
Doesn't anymore.
Doesn't anyone after high school?
No, yeah. No, she took it into college. She studied theater in college and then switched to English. But
do you thank your sister every day for?
Oh yeah, no, I tell that story 1,000 times.
We're going to rededicate this show to Marcus's sister.
My sister, Ted Cluse. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful.
It was the first time anyone had said to me, "Welcome, we need you. Where have you been?"
Give your sister's name on the air. Marilyn.
Marilyn Page. Marilyn Page. Yeah.
But she's going to say, I did. Yeah, you never said my name on the show.
Ted Cluse, yeah. So, wow, that's an incredible story.
Yeah. The second time that ever happened to me, I was auditioning for John Hughes. Remember John Hughes, the Brad Packer?
Oh, God, every movie in the 80s, yeah.
Right. And I do this audition, and I knock it out, and he says to me, wait a second. Why aren't you one of my Brad Pack actors? How come I don't know you? Where have you been? And it was only the second time anyone had said, I need you. He didn't hire me.
Turn around to him and say, I'm going to ask you the same question. Why am I not one of your Brad Pack actors?
My answer was, he said, where have you been? How can I said, I've been trying to meet you. And he said, oh, good one. But he still didn't hire me. But that was the second time anyone said, had Ted Cluse said,
why are you not one of my Brad Pack actors? Next.
Yeah, yeah. How come I don't know you? How come I haven't known you for years? What, you're right in the age of all my. I was trying to. So had Ted Cruz been negative and said, "Oh, listen, we haven't been here. We have other people that have been here, put their time in," that sentence changed everything.
Yeah.
And then doing West Side Story, I had that moment where I was attacking my sister Anita or Maria. You're not going out with that guy.
Oh, you were the brother?
Yeah. I played Bernard, leader of the Sharks.
Yes,
You can see
yes.
Puerto Rican in me,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Hispanic.
I mean,
Well, when you're younger, yes, I
this
could.
Spielbergian remake, they asked, and I said, guys, let's go with the younger guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so that happened on stage. There I was in high school and having a very mediocre high school career and being a guy that blended in. I was nobody's anything, really. I was funny. I was always funny. So people knew me because I was funny. But I was not part of any real clique. I was not, a major athlete. I was not a brain. I was this sort of get-along guy. And I'm on stage, and I did that. You're not going out. And I heard somebody go, oh. And I felt this electricity just move through my body that I changed the room. Marcus, you have influence, and you've been nobody till just now. And that's when I said, this is where it starts. This
You're
is where
like
it starts.
Barbara Walters
Okay.
and me right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
so crazy.
So if Ted Cruz had not said,
yeah.
I wouldn't have stayed.
Yeah.
I was in a bad mood. No.
Yeah.
And if had he been in any way discouraging, I would have said, well, that isn't working out either. I'm going home. And then the rehearsals, and you get this little community and all this stuff. And you say, oh, this is actually a nice little thing to do. I see why my sister did this for so long. It isn't just the performing. There's a lot. And then the theater family that grows. And this woman gets me to the Playhouse. And then all the teachers and Mr. Meisner at the Playhouse, there's this constant, you have a higher calling. You have a higher purpose. It's hard to do what you do. You got to be brave. You got to have courage. But remember, it's noble, and what you do is the only thing that's going to change the world. The world can get changed by war and business, but the only thing that's going to influence it positively is artists that will tell a story. Or, and I say this in my class, have you ever heard a song for the first time that at the end of it you felt like you just cried your eyes out?
Yes. I wrote one.
Right.
Yes.
Now, how's that possible?
Yeah.
How's it possible someone that doesn't know me, who was possibly dead before I was born, writes something, puts it through a speaker, hits me, and I say, oh, wait a minute, I'm not alone. Oh, hold on. It's possible because that person's humanity and their risk to tell the truth in their story comes through and touches you. Not every song touches me the same way, right? But that's the beauty of that person's humanity at the risk of being totally honest reaches the masses. Bruce Springsteen, right? For me, it's U2. I cannot imagine how this Irish band that got together at 15 writes songs that I heard, at 25 and thought, what the, who
Yeah.
knows me? I'm from Pendle. How the Langhorne, Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
That phenomenon
Yeah.
is just you
Amazing,
you
huh?
go and you tell the Corey truth, and somebody in the room, they may not say it out loud, but somebody in the room will say, okay, she gets me. And when it's that true, and that's the whole beauty of the Meisner technique, is you just tell the truth and you let the chips fall where they may. So when you say you bring people in, what I hear you saying is you just tell the truth in a way that makes sense to you and you like it. And luckily enough, other casting people and TV show people
Well, you've certainly
like
done
what
that
I do.
in-
Yeah.
The Coriolis Effect is produced by JS Productions. Producers Corey Oliver and Bob Victor, host Corey Oliver, and editors Bob Victor and Cade Bonsall.